so much for tuning in, guys. It's Justin Diego back with another Bingeworthy video, and today I want to talk about the new season of Basketball Wives, some housewives drama, and a whole lot more. Now, before we get started sipping this tea, go ahead and like this video, click that subscribe button, and you already know you want to hit that bell button so you officially join me and my binge watchers and are first to get updates about binge-worthy videos like this.
I'm trying to tell you.
Hello, guys. Welcome to my channel. I am so excited to talk to you guys today about Basketball Wives and Gorilla Glue Girl with some positive updates. Hopefully you guys tuned in already to my video that I posted just a couple of hours ago, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. I don't know. I've been working on it all day. But I knew that I was wanting to come and talk to you guys tonight about Basketball Wives. Can you guys hear me? Loud and clear. Let me get some purple hearts in the comment section if you guys can hear me. Hello, Tammy Hall. She says yes. Hello, Tina Life. Hello, Nicholas. Hello, Angel. She's laughing out loud already. What you laughing at, girl? Tammy Hall is here for it. Vanetta with the purple hearts. Maria with the purple hearts. All right, you guys can hear me loud and clear. Uh-oh, hold on one second. All right, yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. How many of you guys have already watched the new episode of Basketball Wives? Comment the number 1 if you loved it. Comment number 2 if you didn't love it so much. Hello. We're just gonna give everybody some time to get in. I have 130 people in here already. Can we get at least 100 likes? All right, you guys say you can hear me loud and clear. That's exciting. Okay, so we have been waiting what seems like forever for a new episode of Basketball Wives. And quite frankly, we didn't really know if we wanted to tune in this season or not. I got somebody saying 1/2. So y'all were excited, but you weren't excited at the same time. Y'all crack me up. Yeah, so we finally saw the episode, and I don't know about y'all, but I was very pleased, and I really feel like we have quite a bit to look forward to, because in that super trailer, they definitely make it clear that they're going to be getting into some things. And, you know, I do not mind talking about some things here on my channel, and I actually have a surprise guest, you know, coming up later on the show. She's going to break down the lawsuit that Evelyn and OG are going through. And of course, we're going to talk about, you know, Gorilla Glue Girl. We cannot not talk about Gorilla Glue Girl, right? Somebody said we watched the same show. Yeah, hopefully we did. Somebody said they're waiting for my commentary and then they'll start. Hello, Boo Thing. Hello. So yeah, I really liked the episode. I thought it was really, you know, entertaining. I just felt like we may have gotten a little bit too much Phoebe. You know, I feel like she opened the show and I wasn't expecting that. But I also really appreciated Jackie, Christy, and everybody really getting into the meat of it right away and talking about the colorism allegations in the scandal from last year. We didn't really have to wait to episode 3, episode 4. We're getting right into some things, and I cannot wait. I pasted the link for you guys to call in. So go ahead and get in the queue. I definitely want to have conversations with you guys and ask you guys some questions, and you guys will be able to ask me some questions as well, because I want to know if we are satisfied with where, you know, everything's going. Do we feel like they need to address things some more? Do you feel like they really need to hold Shaunie to the fire, like y'all said? Or, you know, are y'all proud that OG, you know, is getting to defend herself? Someone said they are a few minutes behind. Love my voice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, they definitely do need to address it. I agree with that. So let me see. I will be uploading a full detailed review of episode 1 tomorrow. But tonight I want to focus on taking calls and really talking about this whole lawsuit between OG and, Evelyn, or as as CC can call her, Evelyn. So I want to go ahead and invite my first guest, for the night. Her name is Stephanie. I don't know if you guys follow her on YouTube, but her channel is Wine and Chill. So me and Stephanie are going to have a conversation, and then I'm going to go ahead and take some calls. Hello, Stephanie. How are you?
Oh, hi, everyone.
Everyone, this is Stephanie. I'm not sure if you've checked out her channel before, but Stephanie, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell people what you do on your channel, what's the name of your channel, and where they can find you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie from Wine and Chill, your friendly neighborhood lawyer. Well, for those of you that follow my channel, hi, Girl Green Ivy, not your lawyer, as you know. Usually I do like this very long disclaimer, but everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only. So I'll just go ahead and put that out there. And so usually I give legal commentary, usually entertainment law, and then I drink my wine and we have some fun.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, I stumbled upon Stephanie's channel a couple of months ago thanks to the Impressive channel. She shouted her out and I just could not get enough of her channel. She really breaks down a lot of interesting things that like we read these stories about like Kanye suing his record label or Taylor Swift or all of these different celebs, but we never really hear, we're never at the actual, we're never in court with them. So we never really get to wrap our heads around what happens, what it takes to get there, and whether or not these people have a case. So watching Stephanie's channel, you really get a deep dive in and, you get to sip tea or sip wine while you do it. I think it's so fun to watch.
Thank you. And I'm so glad that you watch because I've been watching you. So.
We watch each other. So we're going to get right into it with the lawsuit between Evelyn and OG. First off, Stephanie, why don't you tell us what you think about this lawsuit and then we'll go over kind of what you found.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Evelyn is suing OG for defamation, which is a very interesting claim, basically saying that she's lying about her and causing her to lose money. And she's also suing her for intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is a very hard claim to prove. So, regarding the defamation claim, Evelyn made comments to OG. She then posted, which I saw someone bring it up earlier, she posted I believe it was a story, and she basically said, oh, people, when they hate on you, they're watching you, and then put a very unflattering like emoji of a gorilla. OG took it as she was talking about her, so she then tweeted and was like, do you see this as racism? You called so-and-so, a racial epithet. You said all these other things. This person is a racist and a bigot. Evelyn took that as a lie, claims that she's not racist, so she's suing for defamation.
Okay. So yeah, do you feel like first of all, who do you feel like is going to win it, or do you feel like it's a legitimate lawsuit or just storyline? Because with reality TV, and I know you've looked at a lot of these cases, sometimes it feels like they sue enough to be, able to have a storyline, and they don't really want to settle or anything like that.
Yeah, I think for this one, it's so hard for her to prove this because if you watch my channel, some of you know it's Wine and Chill, it's my channel, so some of you asking. So a complete defense to defamation is the truth. It is true that you called someone else, a racial epithet against Asian people. It's documented, it's recorded. So what would you sue if someone can just pull the receipts up in court? So part of me does think it is for storyline. It's also not, to be honest, like I'm like very like persnickety about it. It's not very well drafted. It's kind of like a mess, to be honest.
Usually with lawsuits like this, what do you feel is the goal? Like you agreed that it's storyline, but when like a attorney, or what drives the attorney to file these lawsuits?
Well, to be honest, and this is something I brought up when I did Tessica's case with Gorilla Glue, her potential, because TMZ was reporting that maybe she was going to sue. Attorneys will collect their check regardless. So I always tell people, just because an attorney hyped you up to do something doesn't mean it's a good idea. there are a bunch of like unscrupulous attorneys out there, which is unfortunate, which is why we get like a bad rep. But people are quick to collect somebody else's check. I think for Evelyn, part of it might be also nobody wants to be viewed as a racist, so it's her trying to clear her name. But I think what she doesn't realize is the lawsuit is making her look worse.
Right. I was going to say, I feel like the lawsuit amplifies the whole conversation
Yeah.
because stories last 24 hours on Instagram. And we would have forgotten about the story. It would have made it to the shade room. The shade room has the ability to keep a story going, I would say, a maximum of a week longer than it would if they didn't post it. And the good thing about our society and our culture and our civilization at this point is we're very forgiving in the sense that we will forget and we'll be on to the next story. But by making it real, by filing a lawsuit is to me was counterproductive. And like OG said on the show, girl, you pretty much should sue yourself for defamation because you're the one who defamed yourself.
Basically. And part of the lawsuit, her reasonings for why she couldn't possibly be a racist don't actually make sense. So I just think it's a poor decision on her end. A poor decision to, choose to act that way, and a poor decision to, kind of show your ass and then file it in court.
Right. Yeah. And for those of you guys that are watching, I read some of the tweets and I already got my screenshots loaded for my video that's coming out tomorrow. But a lot of people were saying like every season, Evelyn has like this great awakening. Like this season, she got baptized. The season before, I think that there was something, but a while back she went on Iyanla Fix My Life, and she was supposed to like leave reality TV and like be this positive person. So it's just like, girl, we're on to you. Like you reinvent yourself long enough for a new storyline, and we're over it.
Yeah, and I think what people don't realize, a storyline like maybe people will be over it and maybe they'll forget. People do not like litigious people. People do not like people that sue for no reason. Lawsuits are forever. It will always be on the court docket. You can always pull it up. So it's always going to be there.
And I feel like another thing that happens is when they start suing, the network has to like feel some kind of way about it, because if you'll sue OG over something as petty, what makes us feel like you won't sue us? So I just feel like people should be careful in the entertainment industry with any of these lawsuits and make sure by the time you sue, it's definitely a legitimate lawsuit and something you really, really should do.
Exactly. Like Mariah Huck with Bravo. Like that is something, if you feel like you are being taken advantage of and you feel like someone is ripping you off, then sue.
Yeah. With Mariah, I just feel like she built a case. Like there is over time, she's complained again and again about mistreatment. It wasn't just out of the blue. And I feel like she really tried to work with Bravo, work with the production company, and she really gave them a chance. So that's a lawsuit that I hate to see, but it kind of makes sense because as a viewer, it's been weird, like watching her suffer with something she created. And it's very discouraging to me as a creator.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a big fear a lot of creators have. Like what happens if the network, the record label, the corporation with the coins comes in and is like, oh, I'm done with you. I'll just keep it. Like what happens to you?
Right. Really unfortunate. Well, we have a call in the queue. Do you want to take it with me?
Sure.
All right. Let me add her to the live. Hello. Hello, Sunkist. How are you?
Yes, can you hear me? I'm good. How are you?
Yes, we can hear you. I'm well. How's it going? Well, who's your question for? Or what question do you have?
I don't really have a question. I just want to say that Evelyn is coming with all of these baseless claims, thinking that OG is a bully and saying that she's a bully and she's afraid of her, and they are blocking her out of the reunion when Evelyn has been the biggest bully for however many seasons there have been of the show. And now all of a sudden she's afraid of OG because OG not gonna take that BS from her.
Right. Yeah, I know a lot of people feel like the whole thing is super bogus. And I just think that like you said, like she finally met her match. OG from the very beginning did not play with these girls. She was not going to let them just completely run over her. And that's good because for me, I grew up with, several sisters and brothers, and we all had different skin complexions. And even as a kid, I think that is interesting. I'm not sure if Stephanie has experienced this, but it's like nobody had to tell us really this whole colorism thing. Like you find yourself like learning, whether it's through school or through TV, like, wait a minute, like there is just
Mhm.
these, it feels like sometimes there's like this hierarchy. And I just think that it's interesting that we finally got to talk about it. And I just feel like ever since OG came on the show, like they really had no reason to not like her. And like OG mentioned, a lot of her features that Evelyn was throwing shade at, or a lot of the reasons why she felt like she was not liked by her and probably by a lot of people who watched the show, had a lot to do with her skin complexion. So are you happy that we're finally addressing this colorism thing? And are you surprised at all that it's come to this? That was for you,
I'm happy
Sunkist.
that it's being addressed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy it's being addressed because they need to talk about it. I mean, on all of these shows, it seems like the dark girl is always the outcast or the one that people don't want to be friends with. And I'm mad that Shaunie didn't address it when she had the opportunity to. She was like, well, I'm not going to say that she didn't experience it because that was her experience, but I'm not going to say anything. That was her opportunity to say that this is going to be addressed.
Right. I I I am the type of person where I was kind of in denial at first. I was just like, okay, well, maybe it's just because she just doesn't know OG, or like anybody who was having problems. I try to give them benefit of the doubt. But I like that with this first episode of season
She
9.
hasn't tried to get to know OG though.
Right. I'm glad with this new season, they're finally kind of just saying, if this was her experience, we're not going to take that away from her. We're going to let her live in it and have like walk her through it. But a lot of people were saying that they feel like OG was set up to be like victim shamed or victimized even further. What did you take away from episode 1?
I think that she is. I think that they're gonna do anything they can to make OG look like she doesn't know what she's talking about or she's making all of this up. Like it doesn't seem like anybody, not even what's the lady's name? The older woman. I can't think of her name, it's escaping me. But not even she is being
Jackie?
like, yeah, they really were trying to cash you out. Jackie Christie, yes. Not even Jackie, who was supposed to be her friend, is like really stepping up and taking her back, at least not in the first episode.
Right. Yeah, I was surprised.
So hopefully
Stephanie, did you
we'll
watch the
keep
full?
on.
Right. Stephanie, did you watch the full episode?
I watched most of it, and I was going to say I agree with Sunkiss. I think what people are upset about is, as somebody with light skin, it's not just enough to be like, oh yeah, you felt that way. You have to go and stand up for people. And it would have been very easy to be like, oh yeah, I've noticed that you're treating her bad. I noticed that you don't treat other light skinned people bad. Why is that?
Right.
And that's what's missing. It's like when you're telling someone like, oh yeah, I'm not going to sit here and question your experience. You're kind of gaslighting them. I feel like that's what the show kind of did to OG, like, kind of gaslighting her and being like, oh yeah, I'm sure you felt that way. And they're kind of in the same mouth saying, oh, but I didn't necessarily see it. But, I'm not going to tell you didn't feel that way, which is wrong.
Right. That was what was weird for me with Jackie, because Jackie
Which is
kind of
frustrating,
has,
I'm sure.
right. Jackie has consistently made it clear that she kind of, if I'm remembering correctly, she's really, trying to support OG. And I feel like everything she did up until the point where she was just like, hey, it was her experience. I don't see it as, well, actually, she told OG that, like, I know this was your experience, but I didn't see it as racism or colorism. I was just like, yikes. But at the same time, I know how it feels to try to be in the middle of something and try to, keep your job without completely being like, girl, you by yourself with this. Do you feel like it was Jackie really just trying to keep her job and like not make production feel like they did something wrong, but also kind of encouraging them to make sure that OG finds some sort of peace.
Is her job really going anywhere?
I think that
for another Black woman.
Right. What I mean by that is, I think that usually the reason why we don't hear about these kind of stories, and the reason why like Bravo probably would never have this storyline with Nene accusing them of misconduct, is because at some point it does make the network look bad. Wouldn't you agree? Like it makes production look bad. So when I say keep her job, it's kind of like, if you call out Shaunie, you're calling out production. And it wasn't just Shaunie alone who made decisions about the reunion. So if you call out Shaunie and Evelyn, you really got to call out, some executive producers who made decisions as well.
I think that's part of it, but I also think that nobody thought that OG was going to speak up either. So from the beginning, they didn't think that she was going to speak up. So now that she has, it's like, oh shoot, what are we going to do? What are we going to say? Oh, let me just sue her.
Right. Yeah. So I just hope that we keep watching, and I hope that we get closer to being able to tell like where this is going. Because right now it's just episode 1, and we don't know for sure if VH1 or Shaunie or Evelyn are going to eventually do the right thing. But I'm rooting for them, and I'm hoping that there's a space for them to do the right thing.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you for calling in, Sunkiss. I'll see you in the chat. All right. Do you have anything else to add about this Basketball Wives lawsuit, Stephanie?
I think it's important, and I think what's lost in the lawsuit and what's kind of lost in a lot of people's minds is the word racist. They're like, oh, she's not racist. She's being prejudiced. You saying certain things is prejudice. And I think a lot of people, and even the way the lawsuit is drafted, it brings up the fact that like, oh, she's Hispanic. It says Hispanic. It should say Latinx, whatever. It's like, oh, she's Hispanic. She has children that are of Hispanic and African-American descent. It's like your proximity to Blackness doesn't make you automatically not a racist. Like that whole line in the lawsuit to me was kind of flabbergasting. I was like, who wrote this? This makes no sense. That doesn't give you a pass to say mean and hurtful things. You can definitely be a prejudiced person and still be a person of color. Right. Depending what type of person of color you are, like you could be a white passing Latina and be a racist.
Right.
People like don't have like the verbiage and the language around that. So they're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Like none of us are being racist. And it's like, you still have to call it the behavior.
Right. I agree with you 100%. And we talked about that a little offline. It's almost like people when they're like in an interracial relationship and they feel like it exempts them from being racist ever, or like in her case, like having, biracial kids, it doesn't mean that you automatically know and understand Blackness and whatever the struggle is. It's great that you are, I guess, open-minded and you don't necessarily feel like you can't procreate or fall in love with one person who's Black. But that doesn't mean that all of the other millions of us automatically have to feel comfortable with you and your bullshit. So I just think that when Evelyn said that, I just found it really interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
It was not a good thing to say.
Right. So do you want to take another call?
Sure.
Okay. Are you having fun with the live experience?
Hi to my friend Felicity. Felicity and I have long conversations in the comments. So.
Is she in the chat?
He is.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. Oh, you can hear me? Oh, because it was saying that my mic was blocked. I was like, oh no.
Yes, we can hear you.
I want to thank you all for just sharing your platform to talk about these crucial issues within our community of color. Me personally, I am over the Basketball Wives, Housewives franchise as far as when it comes to grown women. because the black grown women that I'm around don't talk like this, don't address issues like this, are very mature for their age. And the fact that these ladies are capitalizing off immature behavior, I'm like, my girlfriends, my sisters, I see this, but the grown women around me of color do not act like this. And I think that it would be refreshing if these franchises would cast younger girls, so it will make sense for their behaviors. Because I can't understand their behaviors. I'm like, not for a paycheck.
Some
You
people would
can't
say
tell me.
that's ageist, though.
I don't think it can sound very ageism, but let's be very real how they exemplify these behaviors on TV, but then go on their platforms and say, this is not how it is, this is not who I am, and etc. And so when you say things like that, then I don't think it's ageism, because it's like, if that's not how you are, Ma, then don't present that on TV, you know? And I feel like the OG situation was very, me as a dark skinned person and dealing with colorism, have dealt with colorism as a black gay man, seeing how it is. I had to just stop watching the show because it was just triggering, just to see how, you know, how fair skinned people can be so off put on dark skinned people issues, and say like that, since I don't experience that, then I can't relate to that, nor can I speak up on that, and nor can I really just hear you from your side. And I think that what they did to OG was extremely wrong. How the network is handling. Let's be very clear: white people don't know how to deal with black people issues, so we can't ask them to do anything for us in that kind of way. And I think
You make a
Shaunie
really
definitely.
good point with that. And that's where I didn't talk to you, Stephanie, about this, but I spoke with my friend Michelle about this. I wouldn't say I play devil's advocate, but I try to bring, like, I try to look for the positive in most situations. So I feel like it's hard for us to ask to be seen and respected, which is something we haven't really been used to doing, without creating the space for that to happen. So I always feel like, of course they're going to get it wrong. They're doing something that we've been asking them to do that they've never done before. But it's like, if we give them the space to do it and they do it wrong, it's just like, oh, like, they're still racist and they're still this. Then it's like, do we ever see a possibility to where these things can go away, or if these things can change if we can't figure it out? So when you say we can't ask them to fix or solve our problems, how do you suggest them do it? Do you feel like it should be like a panel of top 5 black producers with all of the top 10 black talent who's gone through this, and only they talk? Like, what is your ideal way to address these issues in a way that you think moves everything forward?
Okay, well, that's a great question. Now, I will say this: as me being in entertainment to a small degree, doing drag and all the things that I do, but then I'm also an activist and advocate on real life, real time.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a solution, because TV has their marker. It has to sell this. It has to be entertaining, and we know that drama is part of that, right? But it takes individuals that sign up to a project to not sell their integrity to the highest dollar, and just really amplify some of our bad behaviors, right? Because these ladies are old. So let me not say old. These ladies are seasoned veterans. They've dealt with this their life. And so no one really possibly had that conversation with them. So I will say that they're really just acting like themselves. I think that they should be consulting with several activists that really have worked hard in communities to try to change our language. Because when you change language, you change culture, and let them have, like, what I've seen in some of these great YouTube reality shows, like they, like, when it comes to HIV and AIDS, they went to a counselor that educated the whole cast, and the cast was able to ask questions and etc. I think that there were several episodes where these women were able to not have the conversation with themselves because they clearly don't know how to shift the narrative, but go to places where they have educational moments where they can really talk and break down the issues to see why their issues come about, and colorism, et cetera, and then move on to other areas. I think that would be the best solution. as far as like, because I don't think that they have the, not that they don't, but it doesn't seem like they have the capability to have those conversations without attacking each other.
All right. Well, that was a good point. Thanks for explaining that. What do you think, Stephanie?
I think that's a great point. And I think part of the issue that you addressed and that both of you are kind of bringing up is that production, most of the executive producers are white. So why can't we diversify the people on the back end? Because if the people on the back end represented what was actually in the show, then somebody would be like, I find it very odd that all of you are ganging up on the one dark skinned person. Why is that? Somebody to push back. And to be honest, I used to work in entertainment. Entertainment knows what sells. They know that this narrative, they keep pushing this narrative that OG is an angry Black woman. And it's a trope. It's not real. It's like, oh, well, we need one, so it's just going to be her. And it's inappropriate. And they know that it's there. They're purposefully doing it, to be honest, to an extent. And they need people to push back and be like, why are you pushing this narrative that is unnecessary, is outdated, and is not true?
Right.
And let's be clear, on Basketball Wives, we saw the colorism even when it came to Jackie Christie with how she treated her light-skinned daughter versus her dark-skinned daughter. And that's why Jackie Christie really didn't want to be involved, because it kind of shifted that storm from her away. That just happened a few seasons ago when it was real evident how, like, she treated her dark-skinned daughter versus her light-skinned daughter. Was there more to the story? Absolutely. But on the full surface, it was a colorism thing.
All right. You definitely bring up a good point. Well, thanks so much for calling in. Is your name J Love?
Ja Love.
Ja Love. Thanks for calling. Definitely enjoyed the conversation with you. I want to take some more callers, but hopefully I'll see you in the chat.
Yes, you will. Thank you so much for listening to me.
No problem. Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
How are
How
y'all
you?
doing?
I'm well. I'm enjoying this conversation. It's a little heavier than I'm used to, but it's still fun.
Well, that's good. That's good. I had wrote down my notes so I don't forget because I'm still a little forgetful. So it's one thing, because I watched the person break down the whole situation, and they brought up some old tweets that what was it? So Evelyn, they were like, Evelyn, aren't you black or aren't you mixed? And then the tweet was like, oh no, I'm 100% Puerto Rican. And I'm like, well, how you Afro Latina now if you just denied your blackness 10 years ago? You want to be black when people have an issue with you attacking a dark skinned black woman? I don't understand it. I don't. Look.
It's more trendy now to own the being biracial. I feel like a couple of years ago it was not as popular, or it wasn't as cool. So now I feel like with what's happening with Black people, I feel like anybody who possibly can pass for Black or has a smidgen of Black in them is like, oh, look, y'all, I'm Black. You see in the ingredients in the back, like I'm Black. And it's just like
the one drop rule is coming back to haunt all of us, and none of us even wanted that rule in the beginning. It doesn't apply to any other race besides Black people. So
and it's like all OG was saying is like, why are you saying the N-word and you're not black? And it's like that one season when Evelyn first came back to LA and she was arguing with Tammy about something, and she was like, calm down, my N. And Tammy was like, now wait a minute, I'm not your N, the N-word. And I could like they censored it, but it was hard R from what I could hear. I was like, Evelyn, you just said you weren't black. Now you're black.
In the court documents that she filed, it says that she's Hispanic. It doesn't say that she's Hispanic and Black. It doesn't say that she's Afro-Latina. It says Hispanic. So she needs to tell her lawyer what she decided as her race to be and her ethnicity.
Yeah, but it's just a going on issue because I was thinking about why can't Jackie just like I don't want to say she's a bad friend. She's just trying to be neutral. Because I was thinking about that one time Tammy was like, Jackie just fake OG, you just got to deal with it. But I don't think she's fake. I think where Jackie is because I don't know, because like you have to be really careful when you're on the darker side of the cast. Because if you remember the older seasons of Miami, it seemed like anything Royce said, they were like, oh, Royce is so angry. Royce is so annoying. All she does is complain. And all she was saying is the truth. when Susie was like, "No, I don't want to go to the fashion show. I'm scared Evelyn's gonna be there." She like, you just supporting the kids. Why you got to be scared that Evelyn gonna be there? It's just a fashion show. And
Right.
I think Royce is better for Housewives. I want her on the Housewives of Miami comeback, but everybody's like, Royce wouldn't be good for Housewives. I'm like, why not? Because she was too classy for Basketball Wives.
I actually have a confession. I didn't watch the older seasons of like some of the other franchises. I watched Basketball Wives LA, and then LA happened to turn into like the umbrella that saved all of the shows. So I don't really know much about the older seasons of Basketball
They
Wives.
were a hot mess, but
Mhm.
it was a good hot mess. It was more entertaining in my opinion. But there are problems with the older seasons because the fourth season they had a girl named Kenya Bell, and she was at the time because Royce she was on the cast, but she wasn't really filming. She was just filming her own storyline, and she was like, "Whatever, I'll show up here and there." So they had a new girl, Kenya Bell, and she was the new dark skinned girl to cast. And so it seemed like everything she did, they were like, "Oh my gosh, she's so weird. I'm so scared." Because she was an aspiring singer and she had like some music videos up on YouTube. And they were cheap or whatever, because everybody can't have money don't grow on trees. But like they weren't that bad. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, she's so weird." Then fast forward, you got Evelyn throwing a bottle at her. I was like, how are you not in jail? Like, look, Candace, that's when Candace should have been filing some charges. Look, just imagine Candace on Miami and Evelyn throw a bottle at her. Oh my gosh. Every day I wake up, I have post-it notes around my house to remind me that I'm okay. That's when you need the post-it notes. But then remember I told you about the last clip of Miami when Susie tried to throw them meatballs at Kenya and Kenya knocked her into the lamp. I was like, and that's the last scene. They didn't do any type of end cards or this is where they are now. And it's just like Evelyn is gonna be the death of the show, in my opinion, because the reason that season 5 didn't get a reunion is because she didn't want to show up to talk about Chad Ochocinco. So it's like just show up and I don't know. I don't want to tell nobody what to do. But my last question is, where is British Williams? Do y'all remember British?
Yes, with the
They,
international basketball player.
yeah,
Mhm.
Lorenzo.
Hmm.
They were hyping up her comeback, and then all these promos and trailers out. I'm like, where my girl British at? Y'all remember she got mad at Malaysia? She was like, "You gave me a very dry high," and Malaysia said, "No, I didn't. I just said hello." They need
Yeah.
British and Sunday back, in my opinion, because Sunday was so, I don't want to call her evil. She was just mean spirited. I was like, you don't talk about nobody not being able to have a child. She was like, go make a baby. I have 3. I was like, oh no. Oh, she finna get beat up. Like,
You
this is
sound
something
like you are
else.
a Basketball Wives super fan. I love it.
I mean, this quarantine, I just been watching all of them, and now that I'm caught up, I'm like, why are we trying to make Evelyn happen? She's not going to happen. It's a problem every season. First, she's
Right.
saying the N word, then she calling the dark skinned girl ugly, and I don't think OG ugly. Sometimes she just don't wear stuff that match.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Dorit when she first came on the Beverly Hills Housewife, they're like, Dorit, why you dressed like that? And then after a while, she just started dressing right, and that's all it is. You just got to wear what works, like what
Right.
matches your skin. And it's harder for darker people to buy makeup and stuff like that because they barely be selling makeup for you in the makeup store now. You be having to go on the website and all of that stuff. And it's like, oh, is this gonna match my complexion? Because they don't sell it enough, and that's a problem with stores now. You got to sell where people can buy this stuff so that they can wear stuff that matches their skin. So it's not people saying, "Oh, they ugly." No, because look, take off the makeup, who gonna be looking good? OG, OG.
Right. Right.
I'm
Well,
not
I
gonna say nobody
appreciate.
look bad, but I'm just saying she's more of a natural beauty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Nick. I want to talk about my next subject, and I'm going to be getting into Gorilla Glue Girl, the update, and then
Oh
talk
wait, real
about.
quick, I had to ask you where you at on Johannesburg.
I haven't gotten a chance to watch it just yet,
Oh
but
my
keep reminding me.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Talk to
you.
you later. All right. Bye-bye.
I just wanted to say a quick thank you to William. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for that. And then also a quick hi to Gamble.
Okay. And guys, I went ahead and posted the link to Stephanie's channel in the chat. I'll post it again. And I also have both of our Cash apps scrolling on screen. Of course, you're not obligated to share any love, super chat, or anything like that, but we definitely appreciate the support. And I want Stephanie to come back to our channel, so I'll show her some love.
I would come back regardless if you'll have me.
Appreciate it. All right, guys. So for the next segment, I want to get into some Gorilla Girl updates. I just uploaded a video and I want to play some of that first, and then I'll be right back to hear what Stephanie has to say about the possibility of Tessica Brown suing Gorilla Glue after all of this craziness.
I'm never giving up on me. It doesn't matter. I'm right back on my.
It's Justin Diego back with another Bingeworthy video. And y'all, we finally got an update on Gorilla Glue Girl. And I think it's safe to say that this sticky situation has finally come to an end.
It's a bit of a sticky one still, obviously, right now anyway.
Late Wednesday evening, TMZ posted footage of Tessica Brown, aka Gorilla Glue Girl, touching down in Los Angeles to meet Dr. Michael Obeng at his practice in Beverly Hills, where he took on the impossible task of removing all of the Gorilla Glue from Tessica's hair. And I really had my doubts. No, seriously, y'all. I really had my doubts. But in the name of Black excellence, this Dr. Obeng did his thing, and our girl Tessica is finally unbound of this messy Gorilla Glue. I was happy to hear that a Black man was the one who came to her rescue without charging Tessica Brown a dime. I was really afraid that so many opportunists would have their hand in this story just to take advantage of the full free promotion, but this doctor definitely rose to the occasion, going above and beyond to not just cut off all of her hair and leave her scalp bald. And you know, I feel like that would have really been the easy way out. And I feel like if he wasn't a Black doctor, he wouldn't have really got it. And I just see that he took his time to actually think it through. And I was really impressed that he took it upon himself to actually contact Gorilla Glue. And we all know that they had that little stinking attitude and did not even think for a second how they could get in touch with their own chemist to see how they got this glue off their hands when they were doing them lab tests, if they did them lab tests, because they ain't labeling stuff right. But I digress. The doctor says that they returned his phone call, but they were not much help. Anyway, this Black king did what he was supposed to do for our Black queens, and he figured out some details about their ingredients to come up with his own Gorilla Glue hair removal. Not hair removal, Gorilla Glue remover. And I just cannot get enough of this Black excellence. And I was happy that he also confirmed that Tessica managed to avoid any major sustainable injuries to her scalp. And I was so glad to see the positive reactions from y'all on social media, with onlookers chiming in saying, "XLs, I was way too invested in this ... before another person cracked me up saying, "We did it, Joe!" And one girl responded, "My good sis still have some inches, exclamation point." And people were definitely shocked about the results, saying the fact that she was able to keep any of her hair is a miracle. Before this UK doctor caught my eye talking about, "Thank God for her, exclamation point, and hats off to the doctors for helping her keep her hair. What the enemy meant for our bad in these Madam C.J. Walker streets on the month of Black History, my God meant for our good."
Not that.
But no, I am so happy that this story has finally taken a turn for the best, especially since a lot of you guys were concerned about the message that all of this was sending to our already troubled TikToking youth. And at the end of the day, if this does happen again, we now have a solution that was kind of created by Black men. See how we won? Just look at Tessica, y'all. Can you believe she actually salvaged her hair? We love to see it. And my good sis definitely found the time to get her nails done, because I caught some of y'all definitely throwing shade, trying to play her, talking about she only got 3 fingernails. Y'all are so petty. And I was happy to finally get to see some of Tessica's personality more when she told doctors she told them doctors that they gonna have to hurry up because she gotta get her hair done in time for Valentine's Day, which is Sunday, because she definitely got a date.
You need your hair done. You got a date for Valentine's Day?
Yeah. I know. That's right. Period.
Yes, me.
Thanks so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I am one of those people that was rooting for Tessica Brown from the very beginning, and I'm happy that we can finally just enjoy this hilarious moment without having to worry about her scalp. Our Gorilla Glue girl definitely won, in my opinion. She is sitting verified, paid, and laid, and I cannot wait to see what she does next.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Gorilla Glue, y'all got 72 hours to respond. But no, seriously, I can definitely see an endorsement deal for Tessica from Gorilla Glue, and I can definitely see her being the face of whatever this glue remover is from Dr. Obang. Thanks again for watching this video. I will see y'all hairstylists on the next one.
When I do my hair, I like to, finish it off with a little Got to Be glue spray, just to keep it in place. Well, I didn't have any more Got to Be glue spray, so I used this Gorilla Glue spray. Bad idea. I've washed my hair 15 times and it don't move. Stiff wear. So I'm gonna tell y'all like this: if you ever run out of Got to Be glue spray, don't ever use this. Woo!
Thank you guys for the love for that video. It took me pretty much all day to finish that up, so thank you guys for showing love. If you guys loved getting that sneak peek of my latest video, flood my live comments with purple hearts to, give me a boost of confidence. What did you think, Stephanie?
Listen, there is no one on YouTube that is doing the editing like you. These videos, it's great. I feel like I'm watching like a very dramatic show, and I'm just like, what's happening? What is this? I'm glad her scalp is not permanently damaged. That's what I'm happy about for her.
Yeah, I really didn't think that things would be like this. Okay, like I thought that her scalp would like be bleeding and oozing, especially by the time they did what it took to actually get rid of this glue, because they had already tried so many things. They were putting stuff that you put on floors and stuff on her hair. And I just thought at some point her poor scalp is just gonna give out. And I don't think any of us expected her to be able to salvage any hair. Did you guys expect? Did anybody expect any hair? The thing that was crazy to me was she had the nerve to say, "Oh, my mic fell." She had the nerve.
We were laughing at the same thing because when she said it, I was like, "Oh, where's the thank you?"
She had the nerve to say, "Oh, I wish I hadn't cut off my ponytail," and I'm like, "Girl, like you really wanted 5 more inches or however many more inches it was. You better be glad you got even 8 inch. I didn't expect her to have anything. I thought she was going to be rocking a bald head like me."
She was a miracle worker.
Yeah, I mean, and it seemed like really simple, like what he did, and it almost made me wonder, like, what took so long? Like, you know, not downplaying the genius of what he did, but it just seems like the stuff that he said he included in the formula is just like no other doctor could have stepped up and did that.
The hospital sent her home with nail polish. I would have called the insurance company and filed a claim and be like, "Listen, I'm not paying for this. I'm not getting charged for this. It makes no sense."
Right. I didn't go to get my nails done. Shout out to you, Maddie Rivera, for the 1999 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. And I think that you are amazing as well. But yeah, I was kind of underwhelmed because I thought like he would have to do like open scalp surgery. And it's just like, so all he did was basically what everybody else had been doing the whole time, but just probably with a better formula.
Yeah, because it was like aloe vera and acetone and like a couple, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't anything we couldn't pronounce. I was expecting,
right?
There's hydroglycerin in here and blah, blah, blah.
Right, and it's just like whatever urgent care she went to. Tessa, girl, if you're watching this video, never go back because I'm concerned. I'm deeply concerned. Why did they even have fingernail polish remover wipes? Or do you think that was a prescription?
I'm not gonna.
Either way,
I'm not going to shade the Louisiana healthcare system. I live in Louisiana, so that's none of my business. The healthcare system in America needs a revamp.
I mean, that's just wild. I don't know. I expected. I did think that them giving her sterile water was interesting. It seemed like somebody was just running up an insurance check, but I'll move on. So yeah, let's talk about this lawsuit now. Since I made my video, people did clarify that Tessica never alleged or never publicly said she was for sure suing the company. So our next segment where we talk about a hypothetical lawsuit is just that. Stephanie is probably just as happy as I am to hear that she doesn't plan on suing because unfortunately our good sis does not have a case.
not a case at all. So.
Yeah, but she's not planning to sue. And yeah, so let's talk about Stephanie did a video a couple of days ago on her channel. I didn't get to download the video and play a portion of it, but I will be placing the link in the pinned comment section of this video. So after we get done, you guys can watch it. Or for those of you guys who are watching the replay, you have my permission to pause right now and go watch Stephanie's video to really get like a real scoop about, what type of case we're working with and whether or not Tessica has the right or the ability to really file a suit like this. So yeah, Stephanie, let's get into it.
Yeah. And so as usual, so for those of you that are popping over here and hopefully you stay with Bingeworthy as well for my channel, I always give a disclaimer that I'm not giving legal advice. So on my channel, we ran through a whole hypothetical about what if she sued, because unfortunately there were a lot of lawyers allegedly on Twitter, not a lot, I saw a few of them, hyping her up, telling her that, scalp is not skin, all type of nonsense, which is not true and doesn't make any sense. So if she were to have sued, she would have lost on multiple grounds. The first being that there is an 18-page data sheet that says what not to do with the product. On the front of the product, it tells you do not put on your skin and your eyes. There is basically, it would fall under torts. So not without getting like too far into the legalese, under tort law, they have this standard called the reasonable person standard. So basically they assess and say, would a reasonable person of the same age do this? So would a reasonable 40-year-old put Gorilla Glue in their hair? Well, the answer is no, because we've never seen anyone much less a 4-year-old, put Gorilla Glue in their hair. So that would have thrown it out. Contributory negligence,
Right.
thrown it out, which basically is like, hey, if you contribute to the problem, you get no money. So if you apply the glue, you cannot sue. So I love my little puns.
if you apply the glue, you cannot sue.
So I personally am glad she's not suing, because a lawyer would have taken the case and then taken her entire GoFundMe money. That's what would have happened.
Wow.
She would have been sitting there stuck. So this is the best outcome for her. No lawsuit. Her scalp is fine. Her hair is fine. Now she can go on with the rest of her verified life, which is good.
Yeah, when I made my first video, I was actually hoping she could sue, because we know about, and I told Stephanie this, when we first talked, these white people will be suing for everything, like suing McDonald's, suing all these different companies. And just when it feels like, oh, they don't have a case, I feel like they have a case.
But McDonald's, you know what happened? And it's so funny because the court of public opinion is so much harsher than the actual court. So I think McDonald's case is 10 years ago, we all basically have forgotten what happened. In that case, 190 degrees. That's how hot the coffee was. And it permanently burned, I don't know what words you can say on this, but it permanently burned, her area down there, forever scarred her for life, which is why she received hundreds of millions of dollars.
Oh, okay.
But now, 10 years later, we're all like, it's just hot coffee, because we don't remember any of that. And I'm like, yeah, that's why that woman received all that money.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So she deserved her millions.
And they had hundreds of complaints before she spilled the coffee on herself. They just ignored them.
Oh. Fun fact, I worked at McDonald's in high school, and I remember reading this disclaimer on the cups, like hot coffee contents are hot or something. I'm like, obviously. Obviously. But I was too young to know about that case.
Yeah, even that disclaimer is not going to disclaim away 190 degrees.
Right.
And a 4th degree burn, through all of the layers of your skin.
Yeah. They must have had that coffee sitting on the burner all morning.
Child, I would have personally sued the person who gave it to me too. I'm like, on purpose. You just got to rise out of burning meat.
Roll the cameras back. Who poured this coffee?
They would have
threw it out the window
in the cup at that heat.
Right.
Questions that
So it is sad, and you guys can watch Stephanie's full video where she kind of goes into it. But what do you think would have happened? How would it have played out if she did decide to go through with the lawsuit, as is or whatever?
Yeah. If she had sued, it would have gotten dismissed with prejudice. And with prejudice, when the judge is like, this is dismissed, so I'm throwing this out. And also, you cannot come back over here with this foolishness. And that's what would have happened, because there's so many things. And to be honest, it's because there was a theory going a lot around, and which I already knew was false because she never said it, where people were saying, oh, I think she confused Gorilla Glue with Gorilla Snot hair gel, or hair, whatever the heck it's called. And that, even that wouldn't have really worked. But she then went on her interviews and was like, oh no, I used Gorilla Glue. I figured I could wash it out. I had used it before. So her admission has barred her from any lawsuit, even if she thought about doing it. So you've used it on things that it's for, metal, wood, non-humans. And then for some reason, you decided to put it on yourself, unfortunately. But a court of law is going to use that and be like, well, you knew it wasn't for you. So I don't know why you put it on you, but we don't want to hear about this.
I did not know that she did that interview. One second. Guys, I'm pasting the link in the chat right now. I'm going to head out soon, but if you guys want a chance to ask Stephanie some more questions about this case or talk to me really quickly about the segment, I would love to get some of your calls in before we head out. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to be wrapping up soon. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying before.
What about the interview?
Oh yeah, I didn't know that she admitted that she knew the purpose of Gorilla Glue and she used it anyway.
She used it before because the interview asked her, well, have you ever used Gorilla Glue? And she said, oh yeah, but obviously not on my hair. was the response.
Okay, well, I'm glad that her scalp is fine, because that definitely legitimizes some of the claims that, she may not be the smartest person. If you knew what Gorilla Glue was and you put it on your hair anyway, I thought she mistook it for that gorilla snot or something similar.
No, yeah, she disproved that theory. So I would be curious eventually, just because I'm nosy, as to like, she never said like why, like what was the reason why she chose to put it in her hair. Besides, she said like she was in a rush, but like I'm just very curious.
But if we think about like any sort of like spray glues, I don't know if I've ever used a spray glue, but I would imagine that it goes on from it's glue from the moment it comes out the thing. Like I
Yeah.
don't believe it goes on as liquid and then turns into glue later after she walks around. So while you're slicking down glue,
Wouldn't it have
like,
gotten stuck? That was my
yeah,
question. Wouldn't it have gotten stuck to like your hand or the
yeah.
phone? I was very curious.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But I remember one of my best friends, her grandma used to say, never try to understand like a crazy situation too much, because if you actually understand it, then you're going to be crazy too. So that's probably just one of those things like, okay, maybe we shouldn't understand this thing.
Think about it 20 years from now. Remember that one time?
Right. I'm trying to think of any more questions. If you guys don't want to call in, leave your questions in the chat. Let me go through the chat to see if I can see some really good ones. No, she's not suing Gorilla Glue. If she should sue anybody, she should sue the person who told her she should sue, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't checked her GoFundMe. Where's her GoFundMe now?
I haven't checked either.
Yesterday it was, it's at 21,000. I personally think she's gonna get up to 50.
You think?
Yeah. And the thing that a lot of people don't know about GoFundMe is you can pull that money out as you raise it.
Oh.
You don't have to like meet a goal, or like you can like I saw she got her nails done, so she already pulled out some of the money already.
Very good. People are too quick. I didn't even realize the nails. I was just so shocked about the situation that I was like, wait, what happened?
Right. Because I read the comment and I used one of the comments in my video. And when I went to look at it, I was like, how did I miss this? But like you said, we were just so shook about what she was doing. We didn't care. And I feel like some people care too much. Like I wasn't caring to look in her bathroom and look at.
No, I was just like, wait, this woman, her hair has been stuck like this and she's washed it 15 times. And she's also said the best joke I've ever heard in my life, which is stiff wear my hair. And I was like, no, you're making jokes. Don't start making jokes to me. I was like, I'm trying to be serious when you're making jokes.
Right. Because when she said stiff wear, I was like, okay, so is it just a joke?
Joking. And I was like, wait, is she serious or she's joking? She's very funny. She should, she has very good comedic timing.
I think it's interesting she hasn't said much. Like, I don't, like, last time I checked, she never even posted the update on her personal Instagram
I think she sold, in my opinion, I think it's possible that she likely sold the story. Because that would have been a contract that she can't post it anywhere else.
Oh, really?
I'm not saying she did, but if she did, it would have been in the contract.
Well, she clearly sold something to TMZ. They keep having all exclusive.
There's no way like paparazzi's following her around.
So those are all the signs of someone selling the story.
Agreed.
And from am I now asking too much? From your experience, how much do you think a story like that?
That's a good question. I don't have any gauge in that about the actual numbers. You hear TMZ pays well.
Yeah, because I know like for certain websites, if someone wants to take over your website, it can be like $50,000 to $80,000. So my thing is, if TMZ is saying, hey, we want everybody in the world who talks about this story to come only to us, she may have gotten $1 million-ish, 500,000-ish type of situation. So this GoFundMe money is petty cash if she stole her story.
I think we'll never know. I don't think she's
allegedly
anything else ever again.
Right.
I think she should do a healing and get off social media.
I would like to. I would like to meet her, or I would like to at least have her on here. I have questions.
You have the coin though.
Right. I don't have TMZ money. Someone said watch TMZ come out with the mini documentary.
I feel like that is possible because they didn't show a lot of information. They were just like random pictures, little 30 seconds. So I'm sure they have like much better footage. Because my first thought, I saw like she made a YouTube. So I was like, oh, she's going to document it on YouTube. But then she didn't.
Right.
Like, oh, well, where is the...
Right.
If we're
Yeah,
saying
I think
2021, I'll watch it.
right. I would definitely be interested, but it has to be fairly soon. I won't care next year or anything like that. I don't think.
Yeah. We have shorter time.
Well, thanks so much, Stephanie, for joining me today. Normally, a lot more people call in, but I know you didn't want to end up getting all these new clients, so maybe it's good.
Clients. How to take private clients.
Right. Oh, I actually just got one caller in. Do you mind if we take it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. And guys, before we head out, if you want to call in and speak with us, there's the link. Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I had to work up enough nerve, okay, to call in. You know, I've been in your DMs like, I want to call in today. I want to call in today, but I haven't called in. So today, only one of us is here. So I wanted to say a couple of things. I know you're already off of the Basketball Wives, but okay, I'm bored with Housewives. I'm still trying to deal with NBC and them blocking the content, although it's not their content because it is super edited. So I'm kind of bored with that because you put in all your work and all your effort, and then you know they block your content. So it kind of it's nerve wracking. So
the struggle is real for content creators skating the lines of fair use. I definitely know the pain.
It's nerve wracking. I got in touch with some attorneys at NBC by lying, acting like I worked there. I was like, I was just on the phone with such and such, and they were like, okay, yeah, let me transfer you back to her. And when I got on the phone, I was like, they're blocking my stuff. So I need to block it. And they started working with me, telling me to kind of change my content a little bit, but I would refuse to. But anyway, I am bored with Housewives, especially because Nene is gone. I love to hate Nene, but I love her. And this Basketball Wives thing, I think Evelyn needs to go. I think that there is a such thing as somebody said featureism. So I think that she wouldn't say this to they try to make it like well, I'm friends with Malaysia and I'm friends with Tammy and they're dark, or I'm friends with other dark people, so how can I be a colorist? How can I treat you a certain kind of way when I don't treat other dark people this way? But I honestly, she's not the prettiest girl, so of course it's easy for her to bully her and make it seem like no, I'm not treating you a certain way, but actually you are, because honestly, if we all be honest, OG is not the prettiest. She's just not the prettiest, but that doesn't mean.
Well, I think OG's pretty. Stephanie thinks OG's pretty.
Oh, well, honestly, I don't think OG
Queen
is pretty.
OG.
See, no, I don't think so, but I can say I love OG, and I think that OG should stay, and I think that Evelyn should go. I don't understand why she's allowed to bully and nitpick with someone and she's still on the show. And I think Shaunie should go too. I don't care that she created the show. I think she should dip because she doesn't know how to balance being the boss of the show and being a cast member. She shows clearly that she dislikes certain people. You know, like we'll see later in the season. I guarantee you she's going to mistreat OG or kind of distance herself, or her attitude towards OG, I feel, is going to be, we brought you on the show because you're suing Evelyn, or you and Evelyn got a lawsuit. I don't want you to sue us if we kick you off the show. But I do think that she's on thin ice because you messing with Evelyn. That's Shaunie's do girl. So you don't want to mess with Evelyn because then Shaunie gets very upset. But this
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting because it's obvious that Shaunie mentioned like she's moving to Houston, and I don't know what that means because she didn't necessarily say that means she's leaving the show publicly. I haven't read anything about that, but I do think that there's something brewing. So you're saying basically you're happy to see Shaunie leaving, and you think Evelyn should be out the door next?
Yes, I think so, and I think Tammy should come back. That's what I think. I think Tammy should come back. And somebody said something about Royce. I think Royce should just sit down where she is. I love Royce, but I think she should sit down where she is. But Tammy should definitely come back. I don't know if you've seen Tammy's review on Dr. Heavenly's shop. That's just a quick side note. But she did a review on YouTube about Dr. Heavenly's dentist. And it was bad, but good. She really kept it real. But I'm not going to keep you long. Thank you so much for answering for me, Justin. Maybe I'll call back one day.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. I'll see you in the chat.
Thank you. And Stephanie, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, for those of you guys who have tuned in since we talked about Basketball Wives, we started the show talking about Basketball Wives and this legal drama that's going on right now that's being played out on the show with Evelyn Lozado suing one of the cast members, OG. I'm not sure if OG's suing her as well.
Yeah.
She is. She's countersuing. So I guess we'll see that on the show. And we haven't determined whether or not that is just, storyline or if it's like a real thing. But we're happy to see, them have the opportunity to right some wrongs in the past that they have experienced or participated in on the show in regards to colorism. And that's one of the things we're going to be paying attention to this season as we watch Basketball Wives season 9 and discuss it here on my channel. If no one else wants to call in or ask any questions, I was saying earlier that I appreciate Stephanie. I appreciate you joining. Hopefully you had a good experience, and hopefully we can do this more often.
Yeah, sounds good. And this was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure was mine. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's always fun to get to chat with you guys. Thanks for everyone who called in, everyone who chatted, everyone who super chatted, everyone who cash apped both me and Stephanie. We appreciate it, and I had so much fun. I also spoke a little bit about an update for Tessica Brown, who we all know as Gorilla Girl, and I previewed my video that I uploaded just a couple of hours ago on my channel here on this live. So if you weren't tuned in, definitely check that video out next. And definitely, if you guys have not watched Stephanie's channel, Wine and Chill, check her out for all things entertainment law commentary. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Entertainment law commentary. And I think that you'll really enjoy it. If you like me, I'm like 90% sure you will love Stephanie as well. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Stephanie, do you have anything else to say before I let everyone go?
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you to all of you. This was a lot of fun. And head over to Wine and Chill if you guys, want to do some legal fun. I tried it. I don't think it's boring. And so don't worry. Make the legalese fun. Have some wine, watch it afterward.
Right. All right. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate all of you. And I will see you tomorrow back on my channel for my official Basketball Wives Season 9, Episode 1 review. Thanks again for watching. I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning into this binge-worthy discussion. I want to shout out everyone who called in tonight and everyone who joined in on this conversation in their own way. I really feel so good about our discussion, and I cannot wait to do it again sometime really, really soon. And I definitely want to give a very special thank you to everyone who sent super stickers or super chats tonight. And shout out to all of y'all who became members so that y'all could use some of these emojis, and be official. All right, thank you guys again for watching this video. I will see you on the next one.